So this is the Fuji C camera. Very nice little camera. It's a little story about my street photography back from 2017, and that was quite a long time ago. Recently I've had some comments on that video, and particularly the photos and then my settings for the camera. So what are my settings, and also how did I get the look of the pictures? So beyond the camera itself, I also use Lightroom, or used to use Lightroom whenever I was doing my street photography. So what I'm going to show you is the pictures in this particular video. I'm going to show you the information on the pictures itself because I was able to find it, and then I'm going to go into Lightroom and attempt to recreate that photo. Thing is, that computer where those photos were edited first on Lightroom, it crashed, so I lost all that information, but I was able to bring the photos back into Lightroom, and we're gonna go into the settings, and I'm gonna show you how to get that look, and also show you what the settings were on that particular day back in April 2017 with the FujiFilm Z camera, which is really nice. It just kind of turns on like this, and then you're ready to take your picture. It's a no-brainer. It does have a touch screen too. Look how big the screen is in the back, so it's very nice. So it's been a long time, but since you guys are asking, let's check out the settings. Let's look at the information, and we'll go step by step. All right, so no secret settings. This is how I shot it that day. SR Auto, and that's pretty much it. There's no magic. SR Auto is what got me there, and then Lightroom was the rest of the magic. All right, so the thumbnail for the video is actually this photograph. This is the way it was taken by the camera. So pretty much somewhat flat, and there hasn't been any edits done to it. And here is the actual information on it right there. You can see when it was taken. There's the size of it right there. And it shows you that is 5mm. That's the lens, f3.9, 250th of a second, ISO 100, exposure is 0, no flash. Now let's look at the photo that's been edited, and I'll show you what that looks like, and then we're going to look at its settings. All right, so here's the edited photo. You can see there's more detail in there, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do all that, but let's look at the information on it to see what's different about this. So it was output at a bigger number there. Look at 9.4 and 300 DPI, 24 bits, and but all that still remained the same. So everything that was done onto this photo was done in Lightroom. So let's jump into Lightroom, and I'm going to show you how that was done. All right, so this is the second photo on the set, and you can see I brought this up so you can see the difference. That's how it comes out of the camera right there, and this is what it finally comes out as, and we're gonna go into how I do it. And the first thing we want to do is we want to go to the develop tab. All right, so we're already picked our picture, which is right there, and I'm going to try to get it as close to that as I can. I'll show you what my settings are. Okay, so we're in develop tab, and the first thing that I want to do is what I normally do is we're going to bring up the exposure just slightly. So let's bring that up a little bit, not too much. Okay, it's a little different there, and then we're going to bring up the contrast. Okay, so we're bringing up the contrast, and then we're going to go down with our highlights. This is like a normal thing that I do with most photographs. So bring down the highlights as much as I can. Okay, so I can see a little bit of the sky coming out there. Okay, and let's open up our shadows a little bit, just a little bit. Then we're gonna do the white. So the way I do that is we're gonna do Alt key, and then we're gonna do the white and then the black. So the way I do that is gonna hit the Alt key on here, and then we're just gonna bring it till we have a point, which is right there, and we're gonna do the same thing with the white. So then we're gonna bring that down, we're gonna hit the Alt key, and with the Alt key we're gonna bring that until we see a white point come up, not too much. Okay, so it's already starting to look somewhat different, but then let's bring up the clarity. Let's do the clarity. Usually do it around 5. Okay, So now here are all the settings for Lightroom. It's typically the way it looks. We're gonna go into, we're gonna do some tone curve. Okay, so let's do that. That's gonna make it look even more different. So let's usually what I do is, see down here, it says linear. We're gonna go medium contrast. Okay, and then this is what I do to bring up a lot of more detail. On a curve, you're just gonna go and grab onto this dot right here. Okay, we're gonna bring it up some. Okay, and then here we're gonna delete this point here. Okay, we're gonna keep this other point here, and we're gonna bring it down somewhat. Okay, and the other thing that I do is I like to grab this point at the very top. Okay, and then we're gonna bring that down slightly. Okay, and then we're gonna take this other point here, and we're gonna bring this up slightly. All right, so this is what we got so far. All right, so we're getting it closer to looking like that old shot. So you can see that down there it's brought up a lot of detail. And I also turned up the contrast quite a bit to 79. But as you can see, we lost a lot of the sky. Is blown out. So how do we fix it? How do we bring that sky to make it look like that old picture? You know, how do we bring that sky back? So we got it pretty close, but we're missing some of that blue in the sky. So here's how we're gonna do that. So we'll bring back our photograph. We're gonna go to make it just that part. And one of the things, it's a little trick to use here. We're gonna use a thing called a graduated filter. Okay, when we do that, it's gonna allow us to bring a filter in and bring down the exposure. See that? On just a part of the photo, right? So you see the cursor now. So I'm gonna start here and I'm gonna click. We're gonna add our graduated filter. So you see that? So we bring that in here. Okay, we can manipulate it a little bit there. All right, but it's still not, it's not quite how I want it to be. So we're gonna turn it slightly so you get some of that sky. And then what we're gonna do is, now that we got our graduated filter on there, we're gonna take the exposure and we're gonna bring that down because it's overexposed. And as we do that, lo and behold, there's our sky, but it's a little too much, so we don't wanna overdo it. Okay. So we see our sky right there, and then we can take our graduated filter and then we can bring it down somewhat so we can bring more of that sky up without affecting this too much here. And we can even turn it to, so now we got both our sky. See that, how it's changing, is making it look better and better. Let's bring down the exposure a little bit more till we get it just to match exactly how it was on that particular photograph here. And we can just bring this and move it around, and we can add to this too. We can add another graduate filter to get that other side, but you get the idea. That's exactly how we bring that sky back, and that's how we get that photo to look as close as possible to that picture as it was on that day, without too much effort. And so there's the mystery. The mystery is solved. Let's go back. We'll go to the library and take a look. So that's the way it looks. The new picture. There's the old one. Maybe not quite the same. Looks like I was able to get in that sky quite good. So I must have done something else to it. But you get the idea of how it's done. That's pretty much how I was able to get that picture. And the mystery is solved. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on another video. And thanks for watching. Check out another video of mine regarding digital cameras. All right, I'll see you.